we have a runner. Yay. Did the wheels and tires. Pretty uneventful. The wheel cover, the nut covers have this little piece. So you just fit on there and then you can take them on and off by hand. They're just plastic, but they do what they're supposed to do, and they cover up the wheel nut. Yeah, uneventful. I didn't vent because this will go through some water at some point in time, and I'm sure eventually water will get inside of these, but we'll keep it out and keep them in balloon mode as long as we can. I did change the servo over. I had a micro 179, way overkill for this, but I wanted to see if it would fit in that new mount, and it does, but it doesn't. So the micro 99s and the 179s, the ears on them compared to the body of the ears to the body are different than what they give you. This is a much wider ear, and it's definitely intended for this mount, just because they're where you would normally put a screw in. Point to it a little easier with a tool. Yeah, the ear that's in here is kind of lopped off or shaved down a little bit, and I'm not shaving the ears down on my Reef servo. So I got it in there. I used a little bit of the sticky back foam that I got from the craft store, just to keep it from kind of wiggling around a little bit, but hey, it works. We're modelers, we find solutions. Up front, power wise, got the Mambo Micro X in here on the mount that they supply, and of course the Slate 1900. That mount is pretty slick. I did this on the first BRX02 I had with the carbon chassis to get the speed control up close with brushless motor that uses the cable. I've since moved it to the back of the truck, but for this one, that's a perfect placement. Micro X is plenty for this truck. A Micro X2 would be plenty for this truck. But yeah, it's pretty nice. The mount comes later in the instructions, so you do have to take the shock tower off once you have the motor and everything inside. But it's only 3 screws. It's the 2 mount screws and the shock screw. This mount can come off, and you can mount the speed control mount at that point. It's 3 button head screws on the back side of the mount, and it keeps it in there, and it's not going anywhere. The speed control already had this lead on it, so XT30 is fine. It's perfectly fine. For receiver, I had a marine receiver, 4-channel marine receiver laying around. Fits in there nice. I got to get a couple of servo extensions that are on the way, just to get all the wiring pushed up and into the radio box. Keep it as clean as possible. The wire routing system that they give, just so you can see it, there are 3 different wire wraps. So you have a long, a medium, and a short. So on the front, I have a long on here to show you the difference. You can put a ton of wire through one of those, and on the back is a short, which is kind of like a flat straight across, which is plenty for 3 servo wires. Just to give you an example of, boom, thinking it through and using 3 different sizes for wire strands. So that's why there's so many on these cards that they give you. Yeah, everything else is up. I got a few wire ties, but I'm not going to do that until I get all of this managed. And then I'll probably come back and sleeve all my wires as I normally do. I'm pretty well known for clean wiring. Other things to note on this battery tray, if you run a short pack, they give you the instructions to bend these ears out, and you can actually run a full-size winch servo in here. Well, these ears get bent in. Yeah, one in, one out. But they give you the instructions on where to bend them, and that gives you this size battery box. So if you're running a shorty pack, a 2S shorty pack would be phenomenal in here. Even, you know, I have Power Hobby and Helios batteries in the 900 milliamps. I wouldn't normally run something that small on a trail, but, you know, you can get drag packs are, you know, famously small 5,000 milliamp drag packs, which is probably what I'll run in this on 2S, which is, you know, for what this is, that's, you know, perfect scale truck, right? So, yep. So we do have a runner here. I'll power it up and show you what we got going on. So we got our forward, got our reverse, we got shifting, so that's high, and that's low. But even with a 1900 kV and low, it's decent. And in high, it's pretty good walk speed. So I'm pleased with that. And that's, remember, 2S. So 3S, it's gonna go faster. But yeah, everything works. With Micro X, I do have adjustable drag brake on the fly. So it's kind of why I like these speed controls, especially on scale trucks that have 2-speed. Normally you lose a lot of drag brake in second gear. There's just no motor hold. So having that on the fly, I can let it drift, I can let it roll, or I can lock it up and do crazy stuff. So anyway, next adventure is moving on to the body. And I got some paint. I got my primer. And I have absolutely fallen in love with this Glidden Max Flex paint. It's in a satin. Victory Blue is what we're going to go with this one. But it dries in 5 minutes, no drips or streaks. They're not lying. Like, if you put it on super heavy, you are going to drip and streak. But the colors that come out of this and the amount of dry time, it's a very low solvent or high solvent. So it dries super quick. And with the weather that we have up here in the Northeast right now, like it snowed this morning, that, you know, it's important that you get a faster drying paint, just because you don't want it out in the cold. It'll never, you know, the solvents will never evaporate, and you'll have nothing but problems with painting in the cold. But with this stuff, this Max Flex, super great, super dry, and you know, I can recoat within 5 minutes and get 3 or 4 coats on in a half an hour in a warmed up garage, and it looks fantastic. The nozzles are decent. They have a pretty wide fan. You can twist the fan around in the nozzle to get a vertical. Right now it's at a horizontal. But yeah, the tips are pretty good on these. That color is going to be pretty cool. It is Victory Blue, and it's pretty close to a factory color, actually. But yeah, I've been using this on a lot of my hard bodies, and nothing but luck. So yeah, on to hard body stuff, and that'll be, I can paint tomorrow, but it's below freezing right now, but tomorrow's supposed to be in the 50s, so I'll be able to lay down paint. So today will be body prep, and yeah, we'll keep moving on, and we'll get this thing completely done in a week and ready for the trail. So thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.